Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, I was waiting just a little bit until everything is going to be connected. I just want to make sure if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. And I really appreciate you coming back. Same guys, I already feel like you're part of my family. Okay, you just like part of my family. Yes, I'm still working on that piece. I didn't have a chance for last couple weeks to work on it too much. But, I was dancing, in a dancing stage, I call it. Okay, what in the world is dancing? Dancing, it's dancing between a client and me who's supposed to produce something, okay? And I'm talking about dancing when I had to draw, submit, redraw, resubmit, and get all the markings by the architects and the designers and so on. But good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just let me know, please, okay? Let me know, please. I would really appreciate if you can check. And the quality also on the Facebook and on YouTube. I also connected to multiple platforms, but those two platforms probably the best. Иван, спасибо большое. It's really important for me. I was checking everything since like 9 o'clock, and I checked the sound, I checked the setup and everything. Good morning, Roy. Good morning, Ivan. Good morning, Minda. Good morning, Majid. Good morning. Good morning, all of you. Good morning, Marks. There's a couple of Marks. Good morning, Ernie. Good morning, everyone. Okay, wonderful. Good morning, Matt. That is wonderful. Let me check if I missed someone else. Paul, good to see you. Ign Viera, good morning from Argentina. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me see who else. Michael, привет. Очень приятно вас видеть. Carl, good morning. Okay. White Fire Kid, good morning. Again, did I miss anybody? I think I probably missed someone. But anyway, good morning to you. Alex, привет. Привет, как Англия? Okay, so that is good. So let's start. Yes, I'm gonna try to answer a couple questions I actually missed while I was streaming a few times, and I'm gonna start with some of the questions which is already searched and I found. Okay, that is good. So the first question what I kind of found really interesting, it's about have I ever carved for churches and synagogues? Minda from Brazil. Bom dia. Okay, good to see you. Okay, so have I ever carved for churches and synagogues? Okay, so that is the question, religious carving. And yes, I mean, if you go on like a Google and search images wood carving, lots of that stuff is gonna pop out. That's a church stuff, especially Catholic church, especially in South America. There's multiple guys who's actually carving for churches and so on. As for me, and I know some carvers also in Eastern Europe, all they do is pretty much just carving for churches. In European countries, it's mostly Orthodox, and in South America countries, it's mostly a Catholic church. Patrick from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, good morning to you. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country. I used to be there. I have some friends living right there, okay, in Lancaster County. So that is good. So have I ever carved for churches? Have I ever done any work for synagogues? Not commercially. Okay, and there is a reason. Have I ever been approached by people from synagogue and from churches and other religion groups? Yes, Hindus and other groups, they approached me, and Buddhists, they approached me, especially, I would say lots of times I can hear back from Hindus and also Buddhists, okay? I am not taking those orders, and that's on purpose. It's on purpose, okay? I made the decision. It all depends, okay? It all depends. Maybe in future I will. But what I found, it's my honest opinion, as far as the, churches and synagogues and so on. Okay, you have to understand, those organizations are donation based, and they have certain budget they're willing to invest. Okay, and yes, they do invest a lot, and I do understand a lot of expenses in churches. Doesn't matter, big church, big synagogue, small synagogue, other groups also. It's still a lot of investment monthly. We're talking about they have to pay for all the bills, same like every other business. Although it's not considered as a business, but still, they charged like a business. Okay, churches and synagogues and other, of course, religion groups. So they still have expenses. When it comes to beautification, I would call it. I'm not sure if I, should say that. When it comes beautification, Ricardo, buenos dias. Ricardo from Mexico. Someone wrote me Sasa in Arabic or Farsi. I mean, it's a same script, but anyway, Salam alaikum. Okay, so that is good. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. But my point is, let me carve and I'm gonna tell you, okay? Let me carve and I'm gonna tell you. My point is, when people approaching me, like a church people and synagogue people, like I said, they are based just like a donation, okay? And they don't have enough budget, most likely, for that stuff. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that. For me, I'm not carving just to enjoy it. Yes, I could. It's okay with me. I can carve just for enjoyment, but who's gonna pay my bills? Okay, so that's the question. And if they have certain amount of money they assigned for that beautification, and it's not gonna pay my bill, I'm not gonna even take it. Okay, it doesn't mean I mean. Oh, absolutely not. I'm not mean in all. Okay, don't get me wrong, please. Let me pull some chat and I'll try to read it. So don't get me wrong, okay? I really honor those people, especially I'm myself all the time in the church, and I'm a preaching actually since 17 years old. You probably don't know that, but I'm a preacher also, okay? And I know exactly how it's working, okay? We had actually one time, many years ago, like a debate almost in the church. We had the old pews, okay, and I honestly think we should change them long before we've got actually that talk about those pews. And we're talking about just the wooden ones, and we didn't have any upholstery. We didn't have any upholstery right there. Rustam Isamisa. What I'm talking about, I asked the church, why don't we just invest in upholstery? And there's a debate in the church, oh, we don't want to spend $10,000 for upholstery. It's just a church. And my point was, hey, if you having at your houses, sofas, and you're spending thousands of dollars for furniture, so think about the house of God. But still, anyway, so that is just a mindset. Okay, so hope it answers that question. Second question, what I missed. The second question was if I ever regret or think about sometimes when you think back about the sold pieces that probably you overcharged or undercharged. If I ever have regrets, well, never for overcharging. Well, I actually never overcharged. I have a tendency to undercharge, yes, but not overcharge. Undercharging, do I have a regret? No, I'm not. It's just not fair to customer. Okay, like I mentioned before when I was talking about how to price your work, how to price your wood carving, custom wood carving, or your hobby, whatever hobby it is, I'm not pricing by the hour. Okay, I'm not hourly worker. So it's my business, and I have to be fair. If I estimate, I have to think ahead of a time. Okay, how much I'm gonna charge for it, how much time I'm gonna try to invest in it, and the profit is based actually pretty much on that. And once I already gave the price, I'm not tweaking it, I'm not trying to bump it, I'm not trying to whine and just to say, hey, it's not enough, I should charge you more, it costs a lot more, you should understand. It's just a childish. Okay, I'm not doing it. Okay, so if it's underestimated, so that means it's my problem, it's not the client's problem. Let me read them. David is asking, hi Alex, do you have tool recommendation for clay? Thank you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm gonna post the link right here, what tools I like to use, but also if you go back to my videos, the video is actually called I have to confess I use clay before wood carving or carving wood. Just look at my channel, and I actually have a list of clay tools in description with the links. Okay, so that would be probably good. Okay, good. So the next question, which I missed in previous times. Okay, how often do you change from original plan when you are carving? So it's actually applies to this. Okay, that is a good question. So let's say I've done the movement already. I've done the movement, that movement. For example, this element wasn't original in all. So because I do have a flowers, there's going to be some flower movements like a Green Gibbons style flowers. Okay, and there's going to be multiple spots right here. I'm going to have a bunch of flowers in this section. I'm going to have also on another side. And I did not have that element. I did not have that element, and I added this one. Also, originally, this movement, if you're part of my school, you will see, it was a short, just not that wide like I've done it. And I'm filming it just for school. Today, actually, I've done some work before I was getting ready for a live stream. And I widened that, and I moved my movement this way. I also going to change a little bit of I'm gonna change my design on this side just slightly. The movement is still gonna be approximately the same. I'm not gonna change too much because I'm not gonna change the overall movement. That would be a big mistake. It would be a big mistake because I already submitted my drawings, and it took long time to draw, and I don't want to change the whole idea, but the main idea is still the same, but minor details they're gonna change. Okay, next question which I missed. Adam, good to see you, Adam. Let me see which one I missed also. Fast carving, I already tried to answer that. Majid actually asked me, can you tell a little bit about how can you complete the project faster? That is really bad question, Majid. It's a really bad question because the only way you probably can expedite your carving just using by bigger tools. Like in my hand, it's a huge tool. It's a 30 millimeters Weiner number 11. And those big tools, that's the only way you can expedite, but no machines. I don't use any machines. There's a few reasons I already told. First of all, you're not getting your job faster, even if CNC gonna do it. This is unique piece. This is unique piece, and I don't plan to reproduce it like production, in multiple pieces like that. I don't need to. Okay, and the CNC, it takes also a long time to program. A long time to draw that also in 3D programming. Okay, and the CNC gonna be limited. Yes, you can take off some of the the depth and so on. That's no problem, but you're not gonna get to the details. But for me, using big tools is actually the answer. Okay, let me try to explain what I mean by that. All right, let me try to pull some of the tools, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Okay, let me use just example, just a few of them. Okay, if you look right here, okay, I've got three different tools. All right, and this one is about 3 inches. Okay, we're talking about 80 millimeters, 3 inches and 1/8 of an inch. Huge tool. This one is a lot smaller. It's actually only 3/4 of an inch. It's 20 millimeters, and this one only 2 millimeters. Okay, so only 2 millimeters. Although you look at it upside down, apologies. So now you can probably read a lot better. So big, medium, and a small. And I also, of course, could pull some micro tools. Okay, like a 0.5 millimeter. 0.5 millimeter micro tool. Here you go. That is a 0.5 millimeter micro tool. Now, please understand the logic. I live in Florida. Okay. Some of you live in California, some of you in Tennessee. Let's say if I want to go to, let's say New York, because it's going to be honest and fair to Ernie. Ernie lives in upstate New York, I believe, okay? And it takes me, if I'm going to fly to New York, it takes me about 3 hours, maybe about 3 hours and 20 minutes to fly by airplane. Okay, it takes me about 24-26 hours to drive by car. Okay, and it also, if I would decide to walk, all the way to upstate New York from Florida, and you would say it's not logical to walk, but Indians actually did. They had trails. We're talking about trails. We're talking about long walks, like some of the trails like 2,600 miles. Okay, so we're talking about big trails. Some of them like 16, 15 big trails, and they walked. It would take me like a couple months at least to walk. Okay, and the logic, what I'm trying to explain, this big tool is an airplane. Okay, you can expedite your work just by using huge tools, and if you can get huge tool, it's always better. Okay, because you can use just a part of a tool and still able to get the job done and use that as a multi-tool. Okay, it's like an airplane. Medium-sized tools, this one is a 20 millimeters. I have 1 inch tools, like 25 millimeters or so. That is just like a driving by the car from Florida to upstate New York. Okay, small tools is just like walking. Okay, just like walking to upstate New York. And the micro tools, if you would just crawl all the way to New York, eventually you get to the place. Okay, eventually you'll be able to get it to that place. But how long is it going to take you? Okay, so that's my answer. So the only way to expedite your work is just to use large tools. Okay, hope it makes sense. Let me put that back, and I'm gonna start answering other questions. Okay, Majid is asking, so when you need 10 of one project, you must spend many times to complete the project. That is a wonderful question, Majid. Okay, so now, for example, lines. Okay, I showed you multiple times. I'm not going to show you anymore. Okay, not in this stream anyway. So lines. Okay, they are almost identical. Not really identical. The tongues are different, but the faces they are identical, and they just opposite to each other. Okay, so if you would ask me if I would use a double carver or something else, how would you flip it? Okay, so they just flip like this. Okay, so there is a way. I mean, there is a possibility to build, that type of carver or duplicator, whatever you call it. Okay, so but you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna achieve quicker result. Yes, I had a I had, and I do have. I have a big, like 8-foot duplicator, which I don't use. It's somewhere in my shop. And I had a smaller one, carver, like 20 years ago. I tried a couple times, and I stopped because, first of all, a lot of dust. Okay, a lot of dust that just covers everything. Okay, and secondly, just holding that router by hand, it's just, by the end of the day, it just gets to you. You're not enjoying anymore the project. And another point, I mean, it takes just the one tool pretty much to take big amount of material out. I mean, digging out, it just doesn't really, I mean, carver doesn't expedite the process. Okay, it's still going to be about the same speed, I would say, because chopping the main form, the main shape, it doesn't take too long. What takes long, it's actually detailing. Okay, detailing, yes, it does take really long time. I should say it's true. Okay, let me read. Ben is asking, you ever think to carve in Italy, Rome? Why would you ask me? Well, like I mentioned before, I'm not carving for churches and I'm not carving for synagogues. And in Rome, there's already beautiful work done. Okay, so let me read another one with the questions. Now, I also missed the question. What about powered, like reciprocating chisels? What other carvers use? And that question is actually really legit. I also do have it. And you see, I never use it. Okay, what I do, I'm pretty much just using normal tools on this piece. Okay, so just gouges and so on. Now, if you're using reciprocating tool, if you're using for the same cut, the idea is it actually vibrates. Okay, just vibrates and cuts like this. Okay, so that is a reciprocating tool. But does it make much faster? I don't think so. Yeah, I know Mary May, she used one of the tools just recently. Actually, she did one of the carvings. I believe she used that on a shell. And like I said, I do have a couple actually. I do have a Arbortech, and I have another brand. I think even just a flex cut. I do have some attachments for rotary tool. But in reality, for me, I mean, if you look at me, I can actually do a much quicker cut with just on a push. Okay, if you have a sharp tools, do you really need that reciprocating tool? No, you don't. You don't. So because that is your friend. I'm talking about huge tools. Huge tools is your friend, better than any reciprocating chisels. Now, a second limitation why I don't use reciprocating chisels, because attachments, it's just limited. Yes, you can do it. I mean, if you want to spend time, if you want to do your own tools, you can spend your time and just to get a lot more attachments, it's okay. But for me, I'm carving for living. Carving, not making tools for living. Okay, I do have some friends of mine, they do just the tools pretty much and carve, but the tool making is actually the main stream of business. But for me, it's not. Okay, yes, I enjoy, but I don't want to spend time. Okay, so for me, it's better just to buy normal traditional tool which was used 2,000 years ago, like a gouge, Weiner. Well, Weiner wasn't used 2,000 years ago, but anyway, gouges were. Okay, and chisels and knives. Okay, and especially knives. I love knives because you can get a lot of work with just a big knife. All right, so that I hope it answers the question. So as far as reciprocating, let me check if I missed something else. All right, let me read. David is asking, how did the progression of your learning look? What did your instructor have you doing when you first started? David, that is an excellent question. If it's okay, I still gonna carve and answer that. Okay, I still gonna carve and answer that. So I started actually pretty much with my teacher when he is also master wood carver, and I thought I already know how to carve because I was carving since 6 years old, and I thought I'm really wise and smart. Okay, and I thought I already know a lot. But the first what he did to me, he gave me a piece of paper. He gave me a piece of paper and he said, sit and draw. Okay, sit and draw what you're gonna carve. And I said, okay, no problem. Hey, I've done it so many times and I know how to draw. And yes, that was one of the things at school. You know, I was one of the talented children in the class, and I had to draw all the time and make big posts for the class and so on. Most likely it was, I don't remember exactly, but I grew up in Soviet Union. It was like a communist propaganda, for the children at school. Because, we were really pumped at school about we living in the best country and so on, okay? But again, well, let me show you a different angle. He gave me a piece of paper and he said, draw. And he walked away. And that continued for a few days, actually. A long time, not only a few days, a long time. And I would draw, I would spend the whole day long. I would just draw beautiful acanthus movement and so on. It's what I thought, beautiful acanthus movement, okay? And then he would come back. Of course, he would always show me his work, and that was just, oh, man, am I ever going to do that or not? Am I going to be able to reproduce what he does? But he would come to me, look at what I've done with my drawings, and he would just boom and say, think, how are you going to carve it? What tools do you have? And back then, he gave me only one tool pretty much. Well, actually, two tools, I should say. It was a knife and just a gouge. And by the way, I still have it. I still have that gouge. I still love it. Maybe I can actually pull it to you. I don't use it too much, but right here, it's a first gouge he gave me, okay? And I keep it, for a long time. So that is a number 7 and approximately 16 millimeters, about 5/8 of an inch. So that is the first gouge he gave me, all right? And yes, it was on purpose done by me, because I really needed to shave slightly, the sides to dig inside of the fibers, okay? So, hope it answers. So the first, what he was teaching me in the progression was just to draw and think like, how am I gonna carve it? Okay, so that is a big deal. And then he gave me just a knife before the gouge, and he said, if you're gonna master a knife, gouge is gonna be like a piece of cake. It's like nothing, pretty much, okay? And yes, for a long time I was carving just with the knife, just the one knife, that's it. And not only like chip carving. No, I didn't do chip carving, back then with the knife. No, more complicated, like early European style. And if you're part of my school, schoolofwoodcarving.com, so one of the beginners projects, I actually start with just a knife technique because I think it's actually logical. If you can master a knife, all the gouges is like nothing. I mean, it's going to be easy because with the knife you can start manipulating and so on. Right, so that was progression. Then he gave me a gouge, and then I started to do the hollow stuff, which is simple stuff, of course. But I thought I knew how to carve, but he would just teach me how to carve clean, without any sandpaper, without any rasps, anything. So because it was a big deal, it's still probably a big deal for some of the people, not to use any sandpaper, not to use any rasps and so on. Your cut's supposed to be clean just out of the gouge or the chisel or the veiner, okay, veiner, right? So that would be the process. Now, there's a question about Boki is asking, do you ever carve a human face? I've done it. Yes, I've done a human face. Do I like to do that? No, I don't. Okay. For me, it's not a problem. I mean, I can carve a human face, animal face, any type of sculpture, no problem whatsoever. Why I don't carve it, it's not the difficulty or simplicity. No. Okay. It's not that difficult. And maybe someday at school I'm going to do that in future, okay? But I try to stay away from faces because I really enjoy a lot more with personally. I love Grilling Gibbons style, okay, with the flowers and so on, okay? So that is my preference, okay? Julie is saying Keith Morgan is look like a fishtail gouge. Which one are you talking about? It was actually skew. It was a skew. Yes, that was just skew, 25 millimeters, 22.5 degrees. That's what I'm using a lot actually. Those knives, I'm using a lot. All right, it's really easy to get to any place. You can shape nicely and quickly. So that is one of my favorite tools, a skew. I can do pretty much all the shaping. And again, if you're part of my school, there's a multiple lessons, and I'm showing that to you that with the skew and the knife, you are able to do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. People don't use it, and I mentioned that before. In England, if you're using a knife or skew, they would say anathema, because wood carvers in England, they don't use skew and all. And also Austrian, I had people actually, they took the class with me in person, and they came all the way from Austria, and they said they never used knives right there. And there's a school actually in Austria, a really good school, and they just use gouges. So that was something. Okay. So they said it. Okay. So it was a skew. It was a skew. Yeah. Just really nice skew right here. All right, let me read some more comments. Does your school have documents such as PDFs of instruction, tool uses, and so on? Lori, I do have a list of tools, and I do have a PDF downloads. Absolutely, you can download all the patterns if you are a member of my school. Also, you have to know, I mean, I'm getting emails from people, the progression. I also do have a certification. Okay, so if you're gonna get your project done and you submit that for my review, and I can certify you that you succeeded in that project, or I can write you back and say, hey, you gotta think. All right, so yes, all the patterns provided right there, all the access to like 2,000 videos by now, 2,000 video segments by now, okay, on the school. And I'm not planning to put them on YouTube. No, I'm not, because it would not be fair to members of my school who actually stick with me. Some of them, like Michael right here, okay, so he said good morning to me almost one of the first, almost from day one, okay, and they always right there, and I have to respect those people, and I will, okay. Yes, I mean, it's easy for everybody else, hey, just load all the videos on YouTube and that would be really good. No, it's not, okay. So first of all, I invest a lots of effort to school, many hours daily to school, and you actually like being in my shop with me. I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm not trying to make a really beautiful movie with beautiful scenery. No, all I do is just pretty much take my tool and carve, okay? And you just watching me. And I'm actually, every time when I'm grabbing my tool, I'm explaining why I'm taking that tool and what tool I'm using now, okay? Now, I should probably tell you, not all of the projects I have the whole list of the tools. For example, this project I'm not going to be able to, okay? This project is too big, and I'm using a lot of different tools, and I'm not expecting anybody actually carve that project, but sections, just a small sections. Yes, you can get some section and apply it somewhere else, like a frame or something. You can take a 15th century shell, which is an Italian Venetian shell, apply it. There's going to be also shell right here. I started to work on that already yesterday. There's going to be exactly the same like here with all the beads and stuff like this. Take a small element and apply it somewhere else. Okay, so that yes, I do provide. I do provide. Okay, let me check if anything else. So Paul is saying his school is easy to follow alone, not a lot of repetition and safety, really focused on technique. Well, Paul, I hope it's a good thing, okay? But let's go to safety. I forgot, when I did about the back pain, I was specifically wanted to tell you something, okay? I wanted to tell you, and that's shoes, all right? What kind of shoes you use, okay? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that or not. Somewhere right here, that's my shoes I'm guessing. Well, I'm sorry, it's my shoes I'm using, and it's walking shoes because they have a special stuff in it, and that's actually helps with the back pain. So that's what I like. Okay, now Ben is saying or asking, David Esterly, did he carve Green Gibbons style or more wild? So he passed away last year. Yes. Now, yes, I knew David. Okay, so we wrote emails back and forth. Unfortunately, he passed. He was carving pretty much mostly just the Green Gibbons style. Mostly, I'm not. I'm doing all varieties. Yes, I do enjoy. I love it. But he was one of the really good wood carvers. Okay. I also had a question before. How would you draw for wood carving? Let's say one of the guys asked me, he had a struggle with the leaf for the grapes, and the grapes is actually excellent idea to show to you. Okay. Is that okay if I'm going to show it to you, and then we're going to finish it? Okay. The way I approach, let's say just the leaf, and it's going to be simple leaf, but we can do something beautiful with that leaf. Okay. So let me do that. All right. So when I'm drawing a leaf, I always start with like a round or circle, if you wish, okay? Just to get the circle. That's going to be my boundary. If it's going to be two leaves, then I would just do, two circles, and let's say the main movement. So that is just preliminary, okay? Then I figure out the main stem, the main movement. And again, I said that probably too many times. So there is such a thing as a golden ratio, which is I'm not gonna tell you all the Fibonacci sequence and stuff like this. Yes, I can tell you. I mean, it's 1.62 and so on, or 1.6, 1.618 and so on. Okay, but it's so complicated for a lot of people. But what I found the easiest way, if you, let's say, take this point, and if you take that point and divide that section in 10 parts, okay, approximately. Again, I'm not trying to impress you or anything. I'm just doing approximately. So, and if you move slightly off center to like a 6 parts, I would say 6 parts out of 10, it's always going to be safe for you. So it's going to be about right there. But anyway, so you got the main stem. Then again, you also divide that approximately in 10 parts, move 6 parts down from this point, down right here, and that's going to be your division. Division number 1, division number 2, okay? So that's your leaf structure. And there's in grape leaves there's 3 divisions, and but I love to do 5 divisions. Okay, there is such a thing, and again, it has to do with the Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence, if you know a little bit about it, so it starts 1, 2, then 3, then 5, then 8, and so on and so on. Okay, and 5 is actually goes to the Fibonacci. Again, when you end up those points, I'm talking about this point where it's going to end up. You also take approximately this space from this point to that point, divide that in 10 parts, and move it slightly to 6, and right there. So that's going to be your division, right? That's going to be your division. Then I would just do an ice, and every grape leaf has an ice. Again, please understand, we are not necessarily doing just a grape leaf per se. There's different types of grape leaves. We're doing grape leaf, I'm not doing actually, I'm just drawing a grape leaf for wood carving, okay? So, and when you look at that thing, so you should understand. So that is just one of that, but there's going to be different ones. There's some grape leaves, the eye is going to be somewhere right there, which I really don't like. Okay, I try to exaggerate with the in my carving. Okay, so you've got your eyes, and from every eye there's supposed to be a pipe going to the center. There's going to be a pipe, same like an acanthus leaf. Okay, so same like an acanthus leaf, and then I start drawing my end points of the leaves. Is that even a good subject for you? If yes, please let me know. I would really appreciate if you like it or not. Give me thumbs up, at least. All right? Give me thumbs up. So here you go. Does it look already like a leaf? When you look at it, I mean, for me, it pretty much looks like it. Okay. So, okay, now, so you've got the main divisions, and same like an acanthus leaf, those grape leaves, they also have to be divided, and the main divisions would be like 3 divisions, okay? And you would just divide that, logically, again, take that point and this point and this point. I'm not sure if you're able to see that or not, maybe not. And you divide and find your division. I hope it makes sense. Again, when I'm designing for wood carving, I'm actually designing for the tools. What tools am I going to use? Okay, it's got to make sense for me. What kind of tools am I going to use? Right. So that would be simple, but still nice. Okay, let me fix a little bit. This side is just kind of not too nice. I'm gonna use like a letter S shape right here, and I'm gonna use a letter S shape in this. Well, actually, this way. And here you go. You got your grape leaves, or grape leaf, if you wish. And yes, I mean, you can just get the second one if you wanted to, sticking from somewhere underneath, and so on and so on. I mean, there's no limit what you can do with that. Okay, there's absolutely no limit. If you look at it, you can just imagine how you can twist it, and make different movements. But hope it makes sense. Hope it makes sense. All right, Eugene, thank you very much. Lori, thank you. Michael, thank you. It's actually easy. I can show you a little bit of like a simple acanthus. Say me yes if you wanna see the acanthus, how I developed the acanthus movements. Okay, if you wanna see that, then let me know. All right, let me know. I'm gonna wait until you're gonna say yes, we want to see acanthus, how you develop acanthus. Give me thumbs up and just to say yes, acanthus please. Okay. All right, at least one of you. At least one of you from Twitch. And Brent is saying yes. David's saying yeah, that's good. Ariana, wonderful. Okay, let me do that. Okay, let me do that quickly. Okay, really quickly. Pretty much wood carving is much more simpler than you think. Okay, when you do an acanthus, you have to understand every acanthus has main movements. Again, by following Fibonacci's sequence, you have to understand there's 3 main divisions, or 5 main divisions, or 8 main divisions, or whatever the next sequence is. All right. So good. So let me put some music, and I'm gonna draw it. Okay. Oops, it's not the music. It should not be that. Let me use music. All right. Again, idea is exactly the same. Exactly the same. So what you do, so if you've got the main stem or main line, so and I'm gonna go yes all the way to the top. So that's okay. And then you've got the main divisions, which in this case I'm gonna just do 3. Okay. You got the main divisions, and I always like to refer to boat of a fisherman. Okay, it's like a fishing boat. So what I'm talking about, every acanthus has to have a boundary. Okay, and the boundary is just like normal leaf, like this. The upper part would be looking like a boat of fisherman boat. All right, I don't know why I'm saying that, but anyway, so and it looks simple. Right now you can just draw just a simple leaf, like how simple it is. I mean, just any leaf pretty much looks like that. Okay, but anyway, so that is a leaf, and then I'm gonna establish my main divisions. All right, I'm gonna establish my main divisions. And if you want to know a little more in depth about acanthus leaves and the styles of acanthus leaves, you really have to be part of my school, because the people in my school, they already done a couple of, and that's different acanthus, Greek acanthus, Corinthian acanthus, and so on. This one is just a common acanthus. It's not specific acanthus to certain era and so on. Okay, so. But I'm just showing you that is going to be 3 divisions, right? 3 divisions. So that's what I'm doing. Right? Again, every acanthus is supposed to have an eye. That part called eye, right here, 2 eyes, 1 and 2. And from every eye, you're supposed to have a pipe, which all the movements going to go to the center. All of them going to go to the center, right? So we've got 3 divisions, main 3 divisions. Okay, right now you could do 5. If you're doing a Greek acanthus, you really have to do 5. Okay, because otherwise Greeks not going to love you anymore, because it's all about mathematics and geometry and so on. But we'll do just 3. So we've got 3 main divisions. Now we're going to divide a little more. Again, in another 3 divisions, we're going to divide those movements. So we're going to divide those movements, every of those 3 in another 3. All right? And another 3. All right? So that would be other division. And yes, I could fix some of the movements, and it has to flow nicer, and so on. And I kind of don't like one of the areas. But anyway, so see that? Every one of them divided actually even more. So you can see I've got 3 main divisions, then 3 divisions inside of those main divisions. And that's not the end yet, okay? Because inside it's still going to have some kind of small eyes in those subdivisions. Some eyes in those subdivisions. And inside of those 3, Right now it's a lot more. We're going to divide even more. We're going to divide even more. Okay. And yes, all of those movements, they're supposed to go to the center. They're supposed to go to the center. Make sense so far? Give me thumbs up, please. Sailing boat. Yes, Eugene. Yes, sailing boat. I like to use a fisher boat, but the sailing boat is much better. Yes, you're right. Here you go. So we've got an acanthus. And let me give a little bit some shading to it, okay, because it doesn't look too good right now. So we need to use I'm having fun, all right? I do have fun right now. All right, so does it make sense? Okay, does it make sense? I mean, I think it looks okay. I mean, whatever you look at it, it looks fine. I mean, I think it looks okay. But it's actually simple stuff. But if you really want to know, all about those acanthuses and movements, like on this particular piece I'm working on, it's a lot of acanthuses, okay? A lot of acanthuses. But the thing is, this particular acanthus movement is connected pretty much to Venus, okay? To Venus. Now, Paul is asking, what drawing program are you using on the computer? Oh, I'm using different ones. I've got Corel Painter. I'm using Affinity Photo. I'm using Photoshop. I'm using Infinite Painter. I'm using on my iPad. I really love Infinite Painter on the iPad. It's more professional, more than other whatever the big deal people using. But anyway, so Brent is saying complete sense, but I've been an artist over 20 years. Great way of explaining it. Oh, I try to be simple as possible. Now, wonderful people, before I forgot, so we still kind of struggle with some of the states and schools. I know Mark Adams School, and by the way, if you want to check it out, let me find it, okay? I'm gonna find it. So I still gonna be in Mark Adams School multiple times. My May classes, they postponed it because Indiana did not allow yet in May open a business, okay? So it's still closed state. So in my two classes, they were right in May. So it's going to be postponed. The class is sold out, but I suspect, because not everybody is going to be able to make if it's postponed it, because they already aligned a certain time. So you got to check, okay? If you go right there on the site and check if the spot's available, okay? And they're going to be gone quick. And I'm not joking, because I know for a fact Mark Herring, like few years ago, he tried to get in the class. The class was sold in the first 8 minutes when a class was open to, for the registration. So it's going quick. So there's multiple classes actually in Mark Adams. I'm going to teach beginners class. I'm going to teach more advanced class. I'm going to teach design for furniture class. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to teach furniture carving, and I'm also going to teach another class just the designing for wood carving in Mark Adams School. So I guess it's a 4 altogether. So now I'm going to be, I'm not sure. We hope I'm going to be able to go to School of Woodwork in Tampa, Florida. By the way, Mark Adams School, the previous one is in Indianapolis, in Indiana. Okay, it's in Indianapolis, in Indiana. If you wanna meet with me, if you wanna spend time with me, that would be really good. Now, Tampa School of Woodwork. So I believe I've got class in June, and I also have in fall. Now we lost couple people. So we're talking about not lost. I mean, they did not die. What I'm talking about, because of the travel restrictions, so people just felt it's going to be safer if they're going to cancel. So we have few spots left, okay, because we lost some of the people. And now, if you go right now on the site and give a call to Kate, okay, don't just register online. If you want to save some money, just say that I sent you, okay, so you need the discount for my class. It's not going to be applicable to all of the classes, it's just for my class, okay, in Tampa. So we're talking about big discount, people. If you want to, save, like, maybe ask them for half a price. Who knows? It might work, might be not, okay, I don't know. So it's Tampa. Now, Maine, those schools still did not cancel, but in Maine, I'm gonna be in a Maine Coast workshop. William Brown, excellent woodworker, just excellent woodworker. So I'm gonna be there. By the way, I have to show you that Maine. Okay, hold on. I need to show that to you. So beautiful area, people. It's like vacation. We still don't know. People really afraid to travel. It's in May. Okay, I'm gonna be there in May, and I also gonna be there a little later. I think it's August or so. But in May we have like couple spots open. It's a really good idea to jump on right now. Let me give you a website. Okay, right here's the website. And check if it's still available or not. There's a still possibility if it could be canceled, okay, because governor of Maine still restricts the business in state of Maine, and it would be really sad if we're gonna cancel this class. But check it out today. I mean, it's a good idea. Now, Rustam, спасибо большое. All right, so let me read. Bernie is saying or asking. Alex, your website, the School of Wood Carving, is shown is not certified. It is safe. It's certified completely. I have no idea why is it shown that to you. It is. Let me show that to you here. Okay, hold on just a second. Right here. It's completely certified and safe. I don't know what's going on. Why is it showing today? I need to check what's going on right there, okay? I'm gonna check today. Maybe my certification. Whatever that thing I need to renew. I'll check it right now. So don't worry, okay? It is safe. It's completely 100% secured. I've got SSL certificate installed, and I just have to contact and figure out what is going on. Maybe just my renewal for the certification needs to be done, okay? Okay, but it is safe. Thank you very much, wonderful people. Have a wonderful, safe day, night. Stay safe. If you stay in home, don't get crazy. Don't get crazy. Just blessings to all of you, okay?